So now we are seeing one of the new concept, that is ASTADIGBANDANAM in accountancy. Okay, I am only introducing the name of ASTADIGBANDANAM in accountancy. Okay, and this is the concept is useful to non-profit organizations. Okay, not only non-profit organizations. Okay, this concept is useful to our accountancy subjects. Okay, so because of in our accountancy, what is the transaction? Okay, the transactions are classified as expenses, losses, incomes, gains, receipts, payments, liability, assets. Okay, that is only the 8 concept, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Ashta means 8. Okay, as for these 8 concepts, I have named to Ashtadigbandanam. Digbandanam means it is a controlling. Okay, and that means Digbandanam means it is a control of the one. Okay, it's not goes to outside. Okay, that is only controlling in the one. Okay, that is only Digbandanam. Okay, so whatever the transactions, it is control under, these are only the 8 points. Okay, that is the reason I have named to Ashtadigbandanam for this concept. Okay, and I can explain that, okay, what is what and how to control, why can I return that. Okay, that is means, for example, expenses, losses, incomes and gains, receipts and payments, liability and assets. This is the 8 concepts. Okay, for these 8 accounts or 8 8 accounts. Okay, expenses account, losses account, incomes account, gains account, and we have to be prepare everything as an accounts. Okay, so for receipts, payments, liability and assets, for example, is there any expenses? For example, salaries paid. Okay, as per this salaries paid, there is a 2 concepts. There is a one is the payment. Okay, one is the payment, either debit or credit. That is a secondary. Okay, so I am discussing about this point, how to connect with each other. Okay, how to connect with each other. So I can explain this one. Salaries paid, and that is a payment. Okay, one is the payment, and salaries is expense. No, so expense. So can I write like this? So expenses, if it is paid, that related to payments. Okay, is related to payments. Okay, that is the interconnection with the each other. Interconnected with the each other. Okay, that is the reason I have named it as ni. Okay, Ashtadigbandanam, and after explaining all those ones, okay, I can explain again. And after that, next one. If the next transaction is rent paid, okay, like the salaries paid, it's a rent paid, electricity bill paid, all those ones is related as an expenditure and payment only. Okay, that is only the relation between expenses and payments. Okay, that is only the connection to the expenses and payments. Okay, it's clear. Next one, losses to payments. Okay, losses to payments means, is there any loss, for example, theft, cash theft by so and so employee or so and so person. Okay, that is related to, it is a cash, we are not paid, but we should be created as a paid on payment side. Okay, so that is the reason it is a losses to payments. Okay, anyhow we should be created to as a cash only, but we have debited as a loss, that is theft account. Okay, we should be created as in a loss, that is theft account. That is only the link to the losses to payments. Okay, and the next one, incomes and gains. Okay, if you come to the incomes and gains means it is incomes and gains is related to receipts. Incomes and gains is related to receipts. Okay, how to means rent received or commission received. Rent received, That is one aspect is receipt, and another aspect is income, that is rent received account. Okay, now so that is the reason I have, okay, one is incomes are related to connected to the receipts. Okay, not only related to expenses to payment, incomes to receipt, and expenses there is a relation to is there any expenses relation to receipts means maybe it's not. Okay, there is no relation to the, there is, okay, no transactions we have written under maybe that's it only. Okay, receipts cannot be affected expenses. Okay, next, and incomes cannot affected payments, incomes cannot affected payments. Okay, and expenses and losses, okay, the connection to the liabilities. Okay, we have completed receipts and payments. Now you can come to the liabilities and assets. Expenses and payments, okay, that is connection to the liabilities. Okay, once you can think, okay, stop video, and once you can think, and okay, once you can think yourself, okay, that is which are the expenses related to liabilities. Okay, means that is expenses to liabilities, no? Expenses to liabilities means one is outstanding expenses. Okay, means expenditure, for example, outstanding salary, we are add to salaries, and we also write under liability side also as outstanding salaries. Okay, then that is only the relation, that is connection to the expenses and losses. Okay, next, not only outstanding expenses, somewhat losses also, and provisions also maximum. Okay, is there any somewhat provisions we should be debited, and we should be right under liability side also. Okay, so that is only the relation to expenses to liabilities, and the relation to incomes and incomes and gains to assets, income and gains to assets. Okay, means that is income to assets, incomes to assets. Example, the best example is accrued income, accrued income, accrued income means outstanding income. Okay, outstanding, we can call it as outstanding income also, means income which cannot be received amount, incomes which cannot be received. Okay, incomes which cannot be received, that is only the income is called as accrued income or outstanding income. Okay, if you come to the non-profit organization, that is maybe it's a subscribers. Okay, accrued subscribers, that is outstanding subscribers in the current year. Okay, that is a relation to income, means we should be add to somewhat income, and also write under asset side, and also write under asset side. Okay, you should be think about this. Next one, so expenses to liabilities completed and incomes to assets completed. Next, come to expenses to assets. The expenses to assets relation is, expenses to assets, the relation is, okay, for example, prepaid assets, expense to, now expenses or losses to assets. Okay, and loss means the best example is prepaid expenses, prepaid expenses. The prepaid expenses means, okay, we should be deducted from expenses. Okay, either add or minus. Okay, but expenses account, is it affected or not? That is only the main point. Okay, so there is expenses, we have to be deducted from expenses, and we should be right under assets also. Okay, so that is like it's a prepaid expenses. And not only that, if you come to the losses, that is depreciation. Okay, we are following double entry system now. The accounting is should be follows double entry system. that affected twice in the one. Okay, this is a very important to adjustments. Okay, adjustments also it's okay, if you remember these all those ones, every adjustment is easy, nothing is difficult in that one. Okay, so it's very useful to analyzing of, okay, that is a posting, okay, that is a posting of adjustments in books of accounts. Okay, so that is depreciation. Depreciation is a loss. Depreciation is a loss. That is a loss. Okay, we should be deducted from respective asset, fixed asset. For example, depreciation on furniture. Furniture amount we should be deducted in under expenses and losses side. Either if it is a profit and loss account debit side or income and expenditure account expenses. And we should be right under asset side also. Okay, that is deducted from respective assets. Okay, depreciation on furniture should be deducted from, okay, somewhat furniture. Okay, value of furniture. That is only the, okay, that is only the relation to the expenses and losses to assets. Expenses and losses to assets. Next one. So expenses to payments completed, and there is no relation to expenses to receipts. Next, expenses to assets completed and expenses to liabilities also completed. Everything it's completed means opposite side also. Okay, we can think about liabilities to expenses. Okay, either of the way it's correct one only. Okay, and next one, incomes to receipts completed, and there is no relation to incomes to payments, and incomes to assets. Okay, there is a relation, already we have seen incomes to assets, that is accrued income or outstanding income. And gains also, like it's a gains means increasing of assets, that is we should be created to somewhat income we should be right under income side as a gain. Next, we should be add to assets, that is only the incomes and gains. Okay, relation to assets. Okay, and another relation to income to liabilities. Okay, that is relation to income to liabilities. Okay, that is the best example is income to liabilities. No, you are writing income and gains to liabilities. Income and gains to liabilities. Okay, that is the best example is income received in advance. The income received in advance. Income received in advance. Okay, that is only the best example. Means income if we are received in advance, okay, in early, that is we should be deducted from income, and also we should be shown under liability side. Okay, subscribers. Okay, that is if you come to the non-profit organization, okay, next year subscribers, okay, forthcoming subscribers, if it is a received, okay, amount of fourth year, next means next year subscription amount, if you are received in current year, that is we should be right under liability side. Okay, that's we should be right under liability side. That is only the relation to income to liabilities. Okay, there is more also is there. Okay, many of there like that. Okay, so the best example is income received in advance. Okay, that should be right under liability side. Next one, and there is an next. So expenses to loss and incomes and gains it's completed, and another one also, expenses to liabilities is outstanding expenses, outstanding interest. Okay, if you are taken any liability, okay, that is a loans, on that loan we should be pay as an interest. Okay, that is the interest we should be debited to as an expenditure. If it is not paid, still it is, okay, that is liability. Okay, if it is a payment, goes to payment side, or otherwise it comes to liability side. Okay, same as income also. Okay, we are invested somewhat amount in as an investments, we received as an interest received, Okay, if you received amount, then we should be write under as a receipt amount. If it is not received, that is a accrued income, accrued interest risk. Okay, accrued interest, that is we are should be write under asset side. Okay, so that is only the treatment of the incomes to assets and the expenses to liabilities. Next, the final one. Okay, final receipts and payments to liabilities and assets. Okay, we can see first one, receipts to liabilities. Okay, if the receipts to liabilities means receipts to liabilities, the best example for receipts to liabilities relation is capital. If it is a capital introduced by the proprietor, that is a receipt to the organization, and also write under liability side. Okay, as a capital. And loans taken from bank or financial institutions, or issue of debentures, that is also received amount. Okay, and that it should be shown under liability side. That is only the relation to receipts to liabilities. Okay, next one, receipts to assets. This receipts to assets means, okay, for receipts to assets, example is receipts to assets. The best example is sale of fixed assets or sale of assets or fixed asset, or sale of assets. So that is only the receipts to assets. That is only the relation to receipts to assets. Okay, so receipts to assets, that is the best example to relation to receipts to assets. Next one, and receipts to liability completed and receipts to assets also is completed. Next, payments to assets. Okay, payments to other assets relation is, okay, purchase of payment to assets, that is relation is purchase of fixed assets. Okay, that is example is purchase of, if it is purchase of furniture, then we should be paid cash to the payment on furniture, that is payment, as well as if you are purchase asset, that is is shown as an asset in the balance sheet. Okay, so that is only the relation. Okay, that is like that type of transaction we should be shown. Okay, right, like this. Okay, and last one, payments to liabilities. Okay, I'm writing here, that is payments to liabilities. If it is payment to liabilities, is the best example is repayment of liability. Okay, na? So that is repayment of liability means whatever is the loan taken, it comes to receipts. But whenever is the repayment of liability, whenever that is a liability amount is paid to payment. Okay, that for example, if you are taking loan from bank 1 lakh, if you are repayment to bank, that is 1 lakh rupees, then liability is decreased and payment is going to be payment also. Okay, we should be right under payment side, and liability is decreased. That is only the best example for payment to liability. That is only the relation to transactions between the payments to liability. There are many of the transactions, but I have given only some of examples only. Okay, some means minimum examples only for understanding purpose. Okay, there are many of examples. Okay, is there in this concept? Okay, because of we are writing many of expenses, many of incomes, receipts, payments, liabilities, and assets. Okay, there is huge one. But we have written, I have written only, I can explain with some of examples only. But whatever the transaction in our books of accounts is turn around this concept only. And so it is ashta means 8 concepts. Okay, 8, and there is 8 points are there, that is expenses, losses, okay, incomes, gains, receipts, payments, and liabilities and assets. Okay, so if you are this concept, if you have seen like this, okay, like this, it is 8, like this. That is the reason, okay, I name to this concept as a ASTADIGBANDANAM. Okay, so it is I introduced the new concept in accountancy. Okay, please be analyze more examples with your more examples on this concept. And if you have any doubts, okay, you can send to my WhatsApp number. Is it expenses or income? Okay, which is accounts can be affected with the transaction. Okay, please be WhatsApp my number, that is 74168 62278. Okay, if you are sent to the, okay, as a transactions, if you send any transactions to my WhatsApp number, I can reply to you with all those ones. Okay, all, okay, whatever you are having doubts. Okay, thank you, and please be refer the more, and okay, thank you, and please be subscribe and like this channel for like this type of new concepts in accountancy with new methods. Okay, thank you.